please. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Sorry about that. Hi, Mo. Good evening. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you, Doctor. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Good evening, everyone. Can everyone see me and can everyone hear me, please? Good evening. Good evening. My name is Dr. Cole, and it's a pleasure to have you on this session. Listen, I know it's been a long day for some of us. Some of us are still working, coming back from shift work or 9 to 5s and everything else in between. So I'm aiming to finish this session on time, and I'm excited. I'm hoping you're all excited as well, despite how tired we might be feeling. The purpose of this session is to give you all the information that you need in order to ascertain whether project management and business analysis is right for you, and most importantly, to join TriTech as well. So if you're ready, just give me a yes in the chat and then we will get started. Thank you. Good evening, good evening, good evening. So this is the agenda, meet the CEO, which is myself, and then I'm going to talk about the genesis of TriTech, highlighting the problem in regards to why so many of you are unable to transition into tech. And then, of course, I'm going to share my secrets, my little secrets that enables so many candidates to get tech roles. And then I'm going to share tools, and then we have an amazing discount. It's Black Friday, so how are we feeling about Black Friday? On our phones, on Instagram, Black Fridays everywhere. Are we taking advantage of Black Friday? Yes or no? Let me know. I mean, I'm a little bit tempted. There's so much going on. It's difficult to make a choice, but let me know, what do you think about Black Friday? I think it's a perfect opportunity to get those discounts, right? So for me, tomorrow, I am hawking and taking advantage. So without further ado, Black Friday. Someone said Black Friday has become red. Okay, but without further ado, we're going to start. And yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the show started. So this is myself. My name is Dr. Adishola Cole, and I am the CEO of TriTech Consulting Limited, a multi-award-winning company. Very, very briefly. Oh, the volume is low. Okay. Mohammed, is the volume low? Might be my volume. Can everyone else?
Yeah, all good.
Okay, okay. All right, so a little bit about myself. Okay. So if you can barely hear me, just log out and log back in again. But everyone else is confirming that the volume is fine. Thank you so much. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I was born in Hackney, and then I lived with foster parents up until the age of 11. And at the age of 11, my parents decided to take me to Nigeria. So I continued with my secondary education. I went to Ifako International, and then my parents were still not convinced that I was a good girl, and they made me complete my university education. So I went to Lagos State University, otherwise known as LASU, and I studied literature in English. Are there any LASUites on the call? Make yourselves known, please. As soon as I graduated and presented my dissertation, I was ready to come back to the UK. Hi, Olushola. So I came back to the UK. I mean, I was done with LASU. LASU was an eye-opener for many, many reasons. So I was ready to come back home. So I came back to the UK. Oh, there's a lot of you. Hi. So I came back to the UK, and I worked as a cleaner. So I used to clean in hotels, a lot of hotels to be precise. So I'd clean about 10 to 15 rooms a day. And then from there, I worked in a bakery selling cakes and donuts and everything in between, everything, bread and toasties and all of that stuff. And then somehow I found myself within a gambling company, otherwise known as William Hill. And this is where people would come in and place bets on football and horses and all of that stuff. And then somehow I found myself within the bank, NatWest Bank to be precise, and I was there for 10 years. Also to mention, I did a few side hustles as well. So I used to sell hair, I used to do makeup. So yeah, put my hands in a lot of pies, so to say. So I was in the bank for 10 years. I started off as a cashier, counting all the money. And then I was promoted to a sales advisor, and I was a very good sales advisor. And probably that is a skill that has stayed with me till now. Give me anything to sell and I will sell it. So I was a top sales advisor. And then from there, I was promoted to the bank manager within Palmer's Green, North London. However, there was a problem. And the problem was that the title, so when you hear bank manager, you're thinking, oh, okay, you know, it's nice, it's bougie, it's posh, and everything else in between. But the bank account was not matching the job title. Who can relate? So I would literally get paid, pay my bills, pay my rent, and literally have nothing left at the end of the month. And there was a lot of empty promises. So how many of you have worked in the banking industry? You know how it is. A lot of targets, a lot of sales, a lot of compliance, and then they promise you pay rises and everything else. And then at the end of the day, I would literally get nothing. That was number two. Number three, the working environment where I was overshadowed with a lot of work politics. You have a voice, you have a vision, you have a passion, and you know that you want to go further, but there's something stopping you. They're not giving you the opportunity to voice out. They're not giving you an opportunity to grow. And I became really, really frustrated within my job. Always calling in sick, just the miserable woman that comes to work every single day. So as you do, I started to moan to my friends. And there was this friend in particular that said to me, why don't you try project management and business analysis? So this was in 2014. I just had baby number 2. So I have 3 amazing children, by the way. So in 2014, I joined a company similar to what I now operate. And within 4 months, I was able to secure my success story. So I left the bank and transitioned into the role of a project manager and a business analyst. Now, how did TriTech come about? Within that company where I secured my role, I started to mentor. So I wanted to give back. And that's when I realized that I had a passion for mentorship. I would literally mentor people and they would get jobs. It's not like I have a crystal ball or a magic wand or anything of that nature. I just felt, oh, this sounds really good and this looks really good. I would prep people for interviews, and back to back to back, there was a lot of success stories. So in March 2017, I was pregnant with baby number 3. And I thought to myself, do you know what? I just want to create a little company to get me by. I didn't have a goal or a vision of how big TriTech was going to be. We had an office in Tottenham, and there were just 2 candidates, right? And roll on 2024, we have over 5,000 candidates on the platform and multiple awards as well. So this is from me just having a vision. I was really nervous. I didn't have a lot of confidence at the time, but I thought to myself, let me just give it a go. And here I am today. And I think the beautiful thing is, number one, which is most important to me, the amount of success stories that we have and the awards that I'm going to read out right now. So some of the awards include Mentor of the Year 2016. So within that company where I was mentoring, I won an award. Woman of the Year 2018. An award for Youth Empowerment 2020. Woman of the Year 2022. A Rotary Recognition Award 2022, Emerging CEO of the Year 2022, an African Achievers Legacy Award 2022, a Global Excellence Outstanding Woman in Tech Award at the House of Parliament 2023. I did an interview with Forbes Africa, and that was in February 2023. Featured as the top 100 most impactful people 2023, and top 100 influential global voices in Africa 2024. Let's have a look at the next slide. Sorry, guys. So a little bit of background noise, so do bear with me. Okay, so let's have a look at some memorable moments. On the left-hand corner, I delivered a session on AI at the House of Parliament. This was about 5 months ago. So that was me sitting down there. It's very obvious where I am, but that was a memorable moment. In the middle, I was with Lord Dominic Johnson, former Minister of State for Business and Trade. This was a couple of months ago. And on the right-hand corner, I was with Tom Tugendhat, who is the security minister. So I delivered a session on cybersecurity. Dorcas said, small but mighty. Listen, in every picture, I am the shortest, I am the smallest. And I've accepted that, but yes, small and mighty, so to say. So these are some memorable moments for myself and my amazing, incredible team, so to say. Thank you. Next slide. Okay, so we're going to talk about the problem. And when I talk about the problem, I'm going to highlight some of the reasons why many of you on this call are yet to secure your role in tech. But I want to get a little bit of data. So I want to understand, for those of you on the call, how many of you have tried to get a role and you've been unsuccessful? So let me know in the chat. So if you tried, whether that's self-learning, self-studying, joining, whatever it is, just let me know in the chat. So you've tried, and for whatever reason, you've not been able to secure that role. So I'm going to highlight what I think some of the problems are. I'm sure some of you might have your own challenges, but these are some of the problems that we have noticed from many of our candidates who have come onto the platform or based on the conversations that we've had. So first and foremost, a lack of relevant skills. Now, this is really, really important. So when we're talking about tech skills, we're looking at communication skills, problem-solving skills, negotiation skills, innovation skills, and so on and so forth. And this is really, really important. But what's even most important, and one thing that you need to understand, is regardless of what you're doing currently, every one of you has an aspect of tech that you're doing. So whether you're in care, or you're a teacher, or you're a nurse, or you're a doctor, or whatever it is you're doing, there is some aspect of tech that you can bring into the tech world. So there are some skills that you have right now that you can use to transition into the tech world. So in the chat, I would like for you rather to let me know what profession you're doing currently right now. So let me know in the chat, what is it that you're doing at this precise point in time? It doesn't matter whether you're a cleaner, I've done it, you're a nurse, whatever it is, I would like for you to share in the chat. So cleaner, okay, care workers, I can see a lot of you are doing care, business development officer, teaching assistant, an MRI radiographer, business support worker, retail, a nurse, support worker, a salesman, a stay-at-home mom, a beauty therapist, compliance, quality assurance, support worker, and so on. So out of all of these roles that we've talked about, how many of you are dealing with people on a daily basis? So give me a yes or a no. Give me a yes if everything that you do, regardless of the role, you are dealing with people. You're dealing with stakeholders, you're dealing with customers, you're dealing with clients. And, you know, I've worked in customer service for a very, very long time. Sometimes you will have customers that drive you up the wall. You have to solve their problems. You have to make them happy. And even if you're doing care, you need to look after them. You need to make sure that they're happy. Now, guess what? That in itself is a skill that you can bring into the tech world. And that is known as stakeholder management. Because what are you doing? You're managing your stakeholders. You're keeping them happy. You're keeping them informed. If they have any problems, you are the one that needs to solve that problem. If they have any challenges, you are the one that needs to reach out to them. You need to give them what they want at the time that they demand it, and so on and so forth. So it's very, very important for you to understand that you have some of these skills already. Now, some of you mentioned that you work in compliance or you're a quality analyst. In the tech world, we have a role called a PMO analyst, and their job is strictly governance and compliance. So for those of you working in the care sector, quality assurance or compliance, again, there are aspects of what you're doing right now that you can bring into the tech space. And I'm going to talk about that later on. So this is really, really important data that I'm going to share. 75% of recruiters prioritize skills above certifications. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the chat. So agree if you agree and disagree if you disagree. So what recruiters prioritize over absolutely anything is your skill set. And as I've talked about, stakeholder management, risk management, compliance, governance, identifying problems, solving problems, managing your admin, managing people, managing a project from beginning to end. And guess what? I'm sure a lot of you on this call are doing that already. Let's have a look at the second problem that we have on here. Insufficient experience. And this in a way links into certifications. Guess what? I'm very, very old school. I've been in tech for over 10 years. And it's nice when you have the Prince 2 and the Agile and the PMP and all of that and your doctorates and your masters. But when you go for an interview, the interviewer wants to know how, when, why. Give me examples, show me examples. How did you manage this project? How did you deal with difficult stakeholders? How did you ensure that you manage your project within the right budget and timeline that was given? What are some of the tools that you have used? Show me how you have used these tools, and so on and so forth. How many of you have gone for an interview recently? So you thought, do you know what? Let me just test the waters. I'm going to go for an interview and see how I get on with this interview. So let me know in the chat, give me a yes or a no. A yes or a no. No, I have. Blessing has, Ibironke has, Taiwan has. Okay, so for those of you that you have, would you say that the interview process is a lot more challenging? Back in the day, it was just about going for an interview and they will ask you, okay, what's your definition of agile? What's your definition of Prince 2? What's your understanding of stakeholder management? Easy peasy. But when you go for an interview right now, we're talking 3 stages, we're talking 4 stages, where you need to have a lot of experience, like Dorcas said. You need to be able to cite examples, do presentations, do case studies, and there's a lot of show me and tell me. And the reason why that is, there's a number of reasons. Number one, post-COVID. So before COVID, you would go into the office to have your interview 90% of the time. But nowadays, you sit in front of the screen like myself and you do your interview. So for them to ensure that they're hiring the right person, they will make sure that that interview has 3 to 4 stages. So that's number one. Number two, a lot of people have bragged their way through an interview. They've gotten the job and they're not able to keep that job. So a lot of companies want to be absolutely sure that they've got the right person. So back to insufficient experience. It's very, very important that if you have your certifications, which is absolutely fine, you're able to back it up with the right, real, practical experience. And let's have a look at this data right here. 86% of CEOs prefer candidates with experience over just certifications. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the chat. So it doesn't mean that for some of you that want to do your Prince 2 and your Agile and everything else, it doesn't mean that you stop that. But what it means is that you need to have a healthy balance of both. Get your certifications if you absolutely want to, because the industry is super competitive right now, but make sure you back it up with experience and real practical experience. Okay, let's have a look at another problem. Imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome is where you feel like a fraud. So let's have a look at some of you that, for example, you're working in care or you're working as a cleaner, right? Let's be honest, some of you from back home, you were doing good jobs, directors and CEOs, and you were making good money, and then you come over to the UK and you have to do a lot of odd jobs, things that I've done many years ago. And for some of you, you know that you have a lot more to offer based on your experience, based on your certifications and the level of exposure that you had from back home. But you have a lack of confidence where you've restricted yourself so much doing a lot of these odd jobs that you're doing that you don't have that confidence to make that important step to go to the next stage and get yourself out there. I've been there before, so I know exactly what I'm talking about. So imposter syndrome will make you lose confidence in yourself. And when you lose confidence in yourself, you don't have the motivation to step outside of your comfort zone and achieve that career of your dreams. So if you're in that boat or you feel that you can relate to this, let me know in the chat. Give me a yes, give me a no. I mean, even for myself, sometimes I struggle with this when you've accomplished a lot, but you feel guilty for the experience that you have or everything that you've accomplished. And because of that guilt, you are not able to move to the next step. And we find this a lot where candidates will say, oh yeah, I've been doing cleaning for a long time, or I've been doing care, or I've been doing this, but I'm not really sure, I'm not really confident in myself. But back home, you were breaking barriers, you were doing amazing things, and then you come here and then you find yourself in a bit of a bubble. Imposter syndrome is a killer of dreams. Imposter syndrome will make you feel so small and so little within yourself, and it's something that you need to break. And let's have a look at this data here that's really interesting right now. 70% of workers report experiencing imposter syndrome at some point in their careers. So if that is you, you need to break it. You need to step out of your comfort zone, challenge yourself, and get into tech, basically. Let's have a look at the next slide. So I'm going to talk about, some of the key reasons why you need to make that important decision today and try and get yourself a tech role. So I want to find out in the chat, do any of you have family and friends in tech at the moment? So does anyone have any tech bros or sisters, whether your husbands, your wives, your brothers, your sisters, your families? And for those of you that have said yes, do we agree that they're living a very good life? Do we agree, disagree? For those of us that have people in tech, they live a very good life. They travel, they look good. Yes, and I would say that tech is very rewarding. Now, it's not easy, okay? There will be days where it can be challenging. So someone said they live my dream. Wow. But I will tell you one thing. The key advantage of getting into tech is financial freedom and growth, okay? I think this is important. We didn't come on this world or in this world to suffer. We came into this world to have a healthy lifestyle and have a soft life. So how many of you would like a soft life? A life full of ease where you're working, you've got your laptop, you can go to Dubai, you can work from America, you can work from anywhere in the world. A lot of them do hybrid where, some days they go into the office, some days they work from home, and the money is coming in. Yeah. And I think for me, it's important, and I think it's relatable. And I think that, yes, absolutely, I can testify that tech is sweet. So many of our candidates, their lives have changed for the better. And think about it, you're not just changing your life, but you're changing the life of your family, your children, and generations to come. So first and foremost, financial growth and freedom. Number two, work-life balance. So how many of you on this call, you do a shift work? So when we're doing shift work, I'm talking 6 a.m. to midnight, or 12 a.m. to midnight, or 9 to 10, or 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. How many of you are doing that right now? Yeah. So, and this is the beauty of tech, right? The beauty of tech is that you have that freedom to do the things that you want to do. And like I mentioned, I'm not saying that it's going to be a walk in the park. There are times where you will be inundated with so many projects and you need to meet deadlines and timelines. It can be stressful. However, there's that work-life balance where a life full of ease, where you can take days off, or you can work from home, which means you have time for your family and time for yourself, and so on and so forth. So that's another reason why you need to make that decision today. Number three, easy transition. So the beauty of tech is that the moment you get your foot in the door, you can easily move around within the tech space. So let's say, for example, I've been a project manager for a couple of months. I can then decide, you know what, let me move into the role of a BA. And from there, I can decide, let me move into the role of a software developer. Or from there, I can decide, let me move into the role of an agile coach. So it's a role that is not stagnant. The moment you get into tech, you can easily move up the ladder. So you can start off with a certain salary and then move your way up the moment you're tired. And finally, and I think this is really important, personal growth and impact. I feel like the moment you make that decision, you get yourself out of that bubble and you're able to get into tech, it boosts your confidence, number one, and then you're able to self-study and progress and move on to other things. And it also impacts people around you, such as your community. So let me use a cleaner, for example. So imagine one day you call all your, your workmates and you tell them, guess what? I'm not coming back to this job any longer. I am now a tech bro or tech sis. Yeah, just imagine that. That's like a cycle. In a way, that's going to motivate the rest of the team. And then they're going to be thinking, oh, wow, if Ade can do this, then I can do it as well. So in a way, it's like a community where, and that's why there's so many of us in that community. So the moment one person gets a job, you motivate the other person, or you train or coach the other person, and then you're breaking that cycle. And I think that's one beautiful thing about tech itself. So ultimately, financial growth, work-life balance, easy transition, and personal growth and impact. So if you were to select one on here, one thing that you can relate with, what would it be? So let me know in the chat. So for what reason would you want to transition into tech? Is it financial growth and freedom? I'm sure that's going to be number one. Is it a work-life balance? Number two, easy transition, number three, or personal growth and impact, number four. David said all, a lot of fours. All, Chidera said one, two, okay. Everyone just said, you know what, everything on here. And so be it. Let's have a look at the next slide. Work-life balance, okay, yeah. Okay, so we have a 10-step process. Oh, that's lovely, Trisha. Fantastic. So we have a 10-step process that we use in TriTech for many of our candidates. If you know anyone in TriTech that has gotten their success story, do let me know in the chat. On our Instagram page at TriTech Consulting Limited, you will see a lot of our success stories. Every single success story is real. We do not fabricate our success stories, but this is the process that we use, and it's helped many of our candidates today. So step one, sorry guys, so the moment you join us, you get access to something called TDL. Who would like to guess what TDL stands for? Have you joined this session before, Boacom? Okay, so TDL stands for TriTech Digital Library. So think of TDL, we used to call it LMS, and we wanted to personalize LMS. So we changed the name and we made it more personal to TriTech. So it's your library. You know, back in the day, we used to go to the library, but I guess digital transformation has taken over. We don't have the time, right? TDL is your library, and that's the first thing that you will be given when you join TriTech. Think of TDL as your Netflix. In actual fact, the moment you log into TDL, you will forget all about Netflix. Agree or disagree? Let me know. But TDL is power-packed with so much resources. It's your dictionary, it's your encyclopedia, it's your Bible, it's your powerhouse, it's your knowledge hub, full of so much information. Now, I just want to mention that we're not going to say to you, just go and watch your videos. No, you're going to have your live training similar to what's happening right now. But TDL is really, really helpful along the way. So for example, there are videos on AI. We've got videos on imposter syndrome. We've got videos on how to use ChatGPT. We've got videos on big data, business intelligence. We've even got videos on software testing. So we have videos on topics outside of your learning curriculum. Does everybody understand that? Hence the reason why we call it a library. And I'll show you that in a moment. Step 2. Hybrid training. So in TriTech, we train you in both project management and also business analysis. So you get 2 for the price of 1. Any guesses why we do this? So why do you think that in TriTech, we train you in both project management and also business analysis? So let me know in the chat. Interchangeable, well done, Dorcas. More opportunities, they go hand in hand, they overlap a lot, they align together, absolutely. Why else? They both deal with stakeholders, again, well done, they work together. So every one of you has answered that question correctly. First and foremost, they're interchangeable and they work alongside each other. And we have found out that the industry has evolved over the years. A lot of companies are looking to save money. A lot of companies, especially this year, are on a budget. And therefore, it makes sense for them to hire a project manager, for example, that has business analysis, knowledge, and experience. Or it makes sense to hire a business analyst, for example, that has some sort of project management knowledge and experience. So that's number 1. Number 2, the industry is competitive and a little bit saturated right now. So therefore, when you're writing your CV, it makes sense for you to showcase that, guess what? I have experience in everything. So making yourself a hybrid. Knowledge in project management and knowledge in business analysis as well. So therefore, you're 1 step ahead of the competition. And step 3, or the third reason why, sorry, is because there are some of you on this call who perhaps you're thinking you're a project manager and you're more of a business analyst, or you might think that you're a business analyst and you're more of a project manager, or you're not even sure. So in the chat, let me know what category you fall into. Do you think you're a PM? Do you think you're a BA, or you're not even sure? You're just confused. You know what tech is. You've got family, friends in tech. You see tech everywhere, but you're not really sure where you fit in based on your skill sets. That's very, very important, based on your passion and interests as well. So in TriTech, what we do is train you in everything. And then when it comes to the work experience, you can then focus on the role that you want to focus on. Okay, good question. The difference between the two, I'm going to talk about that very, very shortly. Yeah, so step 2 is your hybrid training. Step 3 is a training assessment that you would do on TDL. And that assessment is just to help you along the way. So based on the questions given and based on the answers that you give, you know the areas that you need to work on for your own self-development. Step 4, practical work experience. So in TriTech, this is something that we believe in so much. As I always say, it's important to not only get the job and ace the interview, but also keep that job as well. So the practical work experience is you working online collaboratively with people in the UK, Nigeria, Canada, America. And this is where, you know, the power of networking. This is where you're going to meet people and you're going to network with like-minded individuals as well. The training, I'm so sorry. So the training, which is step 2, is for 7 days. And the work experience is for 3 to 4 months. This is where you're going to be working on digital projects. And a lot of the projects will be AI related projects as well, because we know that the world is going AI and the world is talking about AI nonstop. So that is step 4, practical work experience. Step 5 is career coaching. So after you've completed your work experience, you would then move over to career coaches for 4 weeks. Do you mean 7 weeks? Admin, can we just get that question, please? Thank you. So where am I? Step 5, career coaching. So we talked about a lack of confidence. We've talked about imposter syndrome. Some of you, you don't like interviews, you're nervous, you don't have that confidence, or perhaps you don't know how to apply for jobs, you're not sure on the strategies and so on and so forth. So step 5 is where you would spend 4 weeks with any one of our career coaches. And their job is to teach you how to apply for jobs, how to work on your confidence, how to work on imposter syndrome, and so on and so forth. Admin, can we just get that, please? Thank you. The practical is not 4 weeks. No, the practical is 3 to 4 months, and then training is for 7 days. Thank you. So that's step 5, your career coaching. Step 6 and 7 work hand in hand with each other. We have a lot of KSS sessions, otherwise known as knowledge sharing sessions. And these are sessions that everybody joins in TriTech. So for example, a mentor could approach me and say, do you know what, doctor, I want to deliver a session on AI, or I want to deliver a session on cybersecurity, or I want to deliver a session on interview strategies. And everybody joins these sessions. So 6 and 7 work hand in hand with each other. And these are the sessions that are recorded and uploaded on TDL. Step 8 is your mentorship. Now, this is very, very important. Remember, I talked about interviews and I highlighted the fact that nowadays your interviews have 2 stages, 3 stages, 4 or even 5 stages. The moment you have an interview lined up, we would ensure that you have a mentor to prepare you for that interview. So whether it's the role of a project manager or a business analyst or a PMO analyst or an agile coach, we would pair you with a mentor already working within that role or a specific industry. Thank you, Dorcas. Thank you. So that is step 8, which is your mentorship when you have interviews. Step 9 is your referencing. And this is very, very important. TriTech is a training company, but when you are applying, oh, sorry, I just saw that question and I read it out. So TriTech is the training company, so we're on step 9. But when you're doing the work experience, you would be doing that with one of our consulting companies. And what you're doing is real experience. So therefore, providing you're doing the work and we have evidence of this, we will happily give you a reference. And then step 10, providing you've done everything from step 1 to 9, you would join our alumni platform where you're working with other professionals. Okay, so this is the proven strategy that we've used with many of our candidates and they've gotten their success story. So again, in the chat, I would like for you to pick a number on here. So from steps 1 to 10, which one interests you the most? Let me know in the chat. Is it number 1? Good question. What is the time frame? I'm going to answer that in a moment. So a lot of you are saying, okay, 4, 8. Samson just said everything. 3, the assessment. 10, okay, all. 4 and 5, okay, the work experience. So a lot of you talking about the work experience, which is critical. Someone asked a very good question, how long this will take. Now, one thing to remember is that you have 9 months on this platform. So from when you join TriTech, hopefully today, we give you 9 months. Now, that does not mean that you have to wait 9 months to get your success story. We expect that within realistically 4 to 5 months, you've gotten your success story. But it's nice for you to know that you have a 9-month window. So does everybody understand that? So from when you get access to TDL and the platform itself, it's a 9-month timeline. So you can plan yourself accordingly. Olushola, that's a good question. Is the program self-paced? Now, remember that your training, which is step 2, is not. So it's going to be live training. You would be given a timetable and you would need to join the live classes. But when you have access to TDL, I would say that it is, because you have a 9-month window. So that's something to bear in mind. Rebecca said after 9 months, what happens? I would be expecting that you are a tech bro or sis after 9 months and you're giving back to TriTech. But let's say, for example, after 9 months, you're thinking to yourself, I still want to have access to TDL. Then you would subscribe, and it's normally £150 for another 9 months access to TDL. Rebecca, I hope that answers your question. But I would expect that 9 months, you're already making your money. You're making your coins. Next slide, please. Good question. What do you mean by giving back? So you're coming back on the platform as a mentor or a trainer or a coach, which many of our candidates do. Okay. So remember I talked about your career coaching. Who can remember what number that is? So remember I said that after your work experience, number 5, yes, Dorcas, yes, because sometimes I forget. So remember I talked about that once you've done the work experience, you would be moved over to the career coaches for 4 weeks. And their job is to prepare you for the job market in terms of how to apply for jobs, how to optimize your LinkedIn profile, how to boost confidence within yourself, how to deal with imposter syndrome and everything else. So we have 3 amazing gentlemen who have been in TriTech for a very, very long time, helping and supporting. We have, yes, Derek, yes, a lot of people are new to this, and that's why TriTech will help them. So we have Samuel Akinlotan, Abayomi Ishmael, and Adeyimika Balogun. So you would go with any of these guys. They are HR professionals. They know everything inside and out about how to get into tech. And this is also included in your package. Next slide. This is something that we've just added recently. We understand that we have a lot of candidates who perhaps they need some sort of immigration advice, from switching from one visa to another, or from one COS to another. And these are questions that sometimes we are not able to answer. So we have our own immigration advisor in TriTech, Sir Daberici. So every month he has a session with everybody on the platform. And this is an opportunity for those of you perhaps you're confused or you're not sure on, how to change your status and so on and so forth. This is an opportunity for you to ask him all the questions that you need to ask. So this is what he does professionally inside out. And I think it makes sense to get the right information from a professional. So this is something that we just recently introduced. So how many of you on the call would take advantage of this? Maybe you're on a student visa or a care visa, you know how it is, and perhaps you want to switch, or you don't know how, or you're confused, or, you know, all of that stuff. So this is something all over the world. So we have these sessions online. But this is what he does 24/7. So you're in good hands. Next slide, please. Another thing that we just recently introduced. So for those of you joining now, we added all of this year. We now include LinkedIn optimization. So if you have a LinkedIn profile, give me a yes in the chat. And if you do not, give me a no. Or if your LinkedIn profile is entirely different to the tech profession that you're looking to get into, let me know in the chat as well. So this is something that we just introduced, where we optimize your LinkedIn profile on an individual basis. So this is where we would sit with you, understand what industry or what role you're coming from, and help you to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Isn't that fantastic? So LinkedIn optimization outside is normally about £150, £200. This is also included in your package. So for those of you that perhaps your LinkedIn profile is showing that you're selling things, because I don't know what's happening with LinkedIn nowadays, where there's all kinds of things on there. But I'm hoping you get what I'm talking about. So our job is to sit with you and update it according to the role that you're looking to focus on. Next slide, please. So training dates and times. So normally our training days would be on Saturdays. But bearing in mind that Christmas is around the corner, and bearing in mind that I'm sure some of you are already in Christmas mode. So if you've got your Christmas tree and Christmas decorations in the house already, let me know. I am lastminute.com, so that will not be happening right now. However, what we're trying to do is get you to complete your training before Christmas. So what you might notice, and it's important to take a screenshot of this, although it is on TDL. So what we're trying to do is get you, for those of you joining today and you just want to get your training out of the way, training sessions would fall on these dates in the evening. Normally our training days are on Saturdays. However, if you go through this timetable and you think, you know what, this is not going to work for me, you can take advantage of the offer and then start your training in January, which is after Christmas. In January 2025, we are going to be having Saturday classes and evening classes as well. So for those of us that, you know, we're very busy, we have shift work and everything else in between, you would have the option of either Saturdays or evening sessions. So this timetable is for those of you that just want to get your training out of the way before 2025, and then your work experience would commence in the new year. Okay, does everybody understand that, please, before we move on? Times are on here as well. So training will commence on the 3rd of December. Sorry, that's your induction, and then 5th of December, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. So we're only doing this because we want the training to be completed before Christmas. But like I said, if this is not suitable for you, then you can join the January cohort. Yes, sessions are already recorded for those of you perhaps just want the recorded sessions. No, so this timetable is what's going to be on TDL. Okay, let's have a look at the next slide. January. So I'm assuming a lot of you will probably want to join in January. Okay, you also get a certificate of completion like so. So the moment you have participated, you've joined your sessions, you've done the work experience, you've got this beautiful certificate. So when you're bragging to family and friends and you're saying, you know what, I did the training and I participated, and then you can show them this beautiful certificate that would have your name and also the type of project that you've worked on as well. Okay, Jane Doe, yes. So let's have a look at the next slide. And these are some of the tools that you're going to be working on as well. So remember that in TriTech, your practical experience is really, really important. And it's important that you know how to use a lot of the tools. So we're going to train you on how to use Balsamiq. Ayomide, I'm going to announce the fee very, very, very shortly. We've got Lucid Charts, we've got BPN, we also use MS Project as well. Basecamp is for all your collaboration. Do not worry if these tools do not make sense. I can relate, but do not worry. The moment you get on the platform, we will train you on how to use these tools. And also you will be able to practicalize using these tools as well. Next slide. Yes, so when we announce the discount, like I said, some of you can take advantage of the offer because we've got a juicy Black Friday offer with a special gift, and then you can start in January or you can start in February. It's entirely up to you. So I'm going to show you TDL very, very quickly. TriTech Digital Library, honestly, is the best thing since sliced bread. But one thing I will say is the moment you log on to TDL, you will forget about Netflix. So Mohammed, when you're ready, please. Admin, can we? I know, right? That was cringe, but I had to say it. Guys, let's keep an eye on the chat. Thank you so much. Oluwaseun, don't worry. The offer is coming. It's hot, it's juicy, and it's tantalizing. That's all I will say. All right, so this is what TDL looks like. Mohammed, can you go back? Thank you. Just because of time. Thank you. So it looks like this. So the moment you register, you will be given your own login details, right? And TDL is mobile friendly. So you can download it as an app and you can use your mobile phone. So on TDL, you have your LinkedIn optimization when you're ready, where you can put in a request. On here, you have your training materials. On here, you have your mentorship application. So let's say you have an interview lined up. You would request for a mentor on here. On here, you have a personality test that was built by members of the team in TriTech, and it's power-packed by AI. So you do the personality test, and based on your answers, AI will give you a guide on what to focus on. So think of TDL as your one-stop shop that has everything. Training materials, terms and conditions, your timetable is on here as well. Mohammed, where's the timetable? Everything is on here. Okay, so under your training materials, you would have your timetable as well. But I want us to go to the videos very, very quickly. So remember that for the purpose of this session, you are paying for project management videos and business analysis videos, okay? So this is included in your package. So it's up to you where you want to start. Bear in mind, you have 9 months, okay? So you can start with your project management videos. Now, somebody asked a question. They mentioned that maybe they're not available for all of the training dates and times. The sessions that you're going to have that are going to be live, like so, are already recorded on TDL. Does that make sense? So the live training that you're about to have is already on here. So we have a recorded version of the training. Does everybody understand that, please? Thank you, Dorcas. So let's have a look at some of the topics that we have on TDL. So I knew someone was going to ask this question, and I think I clarified it, but I will repeat that question. Are we watching videos or we're going to live training? So remember I said to you that you're going to have your live training, hence the reason why you would have a timetable. And the videos are additional resources that we're giving you on topics not included in your live training. So following, does that make sense? So your live training is your live training, which I talked about, and in which you would have your timetable. And this is your library. So think of a library. So this is your library, and the timetable is for the live training. Fantastic. So let's have a look at some of the topics that we have on here, and then hopefully that will make sense. So we've got topics on MS Project. We've got topics on change management, risk management, earned value management is on here. We have a lot of topics on digital project management, Google Analytics. We have a lot of videos on Agile. We've got videos on GDPR. We have videos on a day in the life of a project manager. We have videos on CV writing and interview preparation. We've got a lot of videos on confidence at work, effective communication skills, even how to use PowerPoint is on here. We've got videos on integrating change management for project success. We've even got videos on how to use ChatGPT to apply for jobs or achieve your career goals. We've got videos on LinkedIn optimization, searching for jobs. We've got videos on emotional intelligence in conflict resolution. These are not your courses. These are topics. Think of your library when you go to a library. Think of when you go to a Chinese buffet, right? And you choose a little bit of everything. So this is how to use TDL. Think of it as your Netflix. That's the best way to understand how to use TDL. We've got videos on landing a job in 2024. Effective stakeholder management is on here. Self-awareness, self-regulation is on here. Navigating the Tech Nation visa route is on here as well. There's a lot of topics, and all you would do, so you browse through and select any topic of your choice. So you know when you're going shopping and you're shopping for shoes, and you just select the right pair of shoes. So this is how you would use TDL. So for example, harnessing the power of ChatGPT and job scan tools in achieving your career goals. And you're thinking, oh, this sounds juicy. So you select the topic, you press play, you've got the slides and the mentor in the background. Okay. Yep. So that's another video. It's juicy, yes. So let's stop that. Thank you so much. Again, you shop through the videos that you've got on here. Any other topic that might be of interest to you, bearing in mind you have 9 months. So you can select another one. Oh, what's this? Project costing. So again, you select the topic like so, you press play, mentor is in the background, and then you have the slides as well. Okay, so these are just project management videos. Let's quickly go to business analysis videos. So remember, this is not your training. You're having your live training, which is why you have your timetable. And this is additional content that we're giving you. Again, your live BA training is already on here. So what that means is you can complete your business analysis training on TDL before having your live training. But let's have a look at some of the topics for business analysis. So we've got topics on requirement gathering, requirement elicitation. We've even got topics on software testing. We've got videos on how to use Jira. We've got videos on GDPR. Again, a lot of videos on Agile and Scrum. We've got videos on Scrum Master Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4. We've got videos on Jira. We've even got videos on cybersecurity, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4. We've got videos on CV writing, interview preparation is on here as well. We've got videos on how to apply for jobs as a business analyst, a day in the life of a BA, introduction to robotic process automation, business change management is on here, big data, how do companies use your data. We've got videos on AI, artificial intelligence, business intelligence is on here. So remember, you have 9 months and this is self-paced. So again, it's up to you how you use TDL, but bear in mind you have 9 months, okay? We've got videos on business architecture. There's a lot of topics. Agile delivery processes, interview case studies is on here as well. And again, you just select any topic of your choice. Anything that is of interest to you. You select the topic. Remember, you can also watch the videos on your phone. You press play and you've got the slides and the mentor in the background, okay? So does everybody understand how TDL works? TDL is not your learning. It's not your live training. as someone has said, this is your new Netflix, this is your library. So sometimes you might be having your live training and perhaps there's a topic that you might not understand during the live training. Then what you can do is come to TDL, look for the topic in question, and then do your own self-learning. And you have access to TDL for 9 months. Okay, so does everybody understand how TDL works? Okay, it's 8 o'clock. Okay, 5-10 minutes and we're done. So does everybody understand how TDL works? Following? So we're not just telling you go watch your videos. No, you have your training, you have your work experience where we're going to put you into teams and give you a project to work on, in which you would meet in the evening times to work on your live projects. But your TDL is your library, your dictionary, and your encyclopedia, okay? And a lot of the success stories that we have are on the back of TDL. So it's your one-stop shop. Next slide, please. Yeah, so all of the live sessions that you're going to have are already on TDL. So what that means is for some of you, perhaps you're really impatient, you don't want to wait for the live training, you can actually finish your live training on TDL. 9 months starts from when you register. Okay, so very, very quickly, the role of a project manager. So a project manager's job is to manage, monitor, and control. So for this type of role, you have to be someone that is a good communicator. You've got really good leadership skills. You've got fantastic emotional intelligence skills. You like to tell people what to do. You like to be in charge. You're very orderly. You like things done a certain way. You've got hawk eyes, hence the name I'm a hawk. You like to delegate. You like to tell people what to do and monitor what they're doing as well. So as a project manager, your job is to make sure that the project is successful. You are responsible and accountable for ensuring that everybody in your team is doing what they need to do. You are also responsible and accountable for ensuring that your project is delivered of high quality within the budget and timeline that has been given. It's also your job to manage any issues or any risks or issues pertaining to the project. It's your job to give feedback, status updates to your clients or your stakeholders. And ultimately, as they like to say, it's your name that is on the door. So if you are adamant that you're a project manager, just give me a yes in the chat. We're wrapping up very, very quickly, and I'm going to announce the discount for those of you asking. So if this is you, you like to lead, you like to be in charge, this role is really good if you are not afraid to have difficult conversations, challenging conversations. You're a people person, you're talkative like myself, you're bubbly, you know how to manage difficult, challenging stakeholders. You know, you like to just get the work done, click your fingers and everyone is doing what they need to do. Then ultimately this job is for you. Dorcas, I can relate. Let's have a look at the next role. Olivia Pope, yes. Gosh, I've been watching too much TV. Another role you can go for is the role of a PMO analyst. I remember that some of you talked about the fact that you come from compliance, and I think we've got a quality analyst on the call. If you are on the call, make yourself known. I do remember. So this role is more of, think of the role of a police officer in the UK. Yeah, not in Nigeria. But anyway, so as a police officer, your job is to make sure that everyone is doing what they need to do, right? Dotting their I's, crossing their T's, ensuring that they're obeying laws and orders. As a PMO analyst, your job is all about governance and compliance. So whilst a project manager is Dorcas, a professional snitch. Okay, well, technically, you are the one that gives everybody a slap on the wrist if they're not compliant, or you're going through documentation and you're seeing that people are not yet dotting their I's and crossing their T's. They're not obeying orders. they're not compliant. You are the one that ensures that there are standards in place and everyone is obeying those standards. So someone that is more of a quality assurance officer, or you're working in banking, or you're working in compliance, this is a really good role for you. For this type of role, you have to be someone that is very meticulous. You love admin, so if you have a lot of administrative roles and experience, this is a very good role for you. You're someone that you like to have things in a certain way, a little bit of OCD, so to say. But yes, a very good role if perhaps you like to just, sit back, work behind the scenes while the project manager is doing what they need to do, and you are just there to ensure that people are compliant. So if you're interested in this role, let me know in the chat. Just give me a yes or a no. For me, this is not me. I don't like admin. I'm not really an admin person. I like to chase people and make sure they're doing the job. Next slide, please. Okay, another role, of course, is the business analyst. I know there are a lot of you on this call. For this kind of role, in terms of skill set, you are someone that is just nosy. I like to say a little bit nosy. You're very inquisitive. You want to know the why, the when, the how. You like to investigate things. You like to analyze information. You want to get to the nitty-gritty of why something is the way that it is. You like to ask questions. Why is this how it is? How can it be another way? And not just ask questions, but also, come up with solutions. So in your home, let's say something's not working. As a business analyst, you like to just see if you can fix the problem or solve the problem. As a business analyst, your job is very, very simple: identifying problems and coming up with solutions. Somebody asked the question, what's the difference between a project manager and a business analyst? A project manager's job is to monitor, manage, and make sure everyone is doing what they need to do and ensure the project is successful. But the business analyst's job is to investigate the why. Why are we initiating this project? What is the reason for this project? Your job is also to sit with the client and ask them questions. Yes, CIA. What is the reason for you building this house? Is it because you want to move? Is it because of your children? Is it for financial purposes? So you're the one that digs deeper to get all of that information from your stakeholder. When you get that information, you analyze that information, and then you analyze the data regarding that information as well, and then come up with the solution and feed it back to the project manager. So essentially, as a business analyst, you are the one to analyze, investigate, come up with solutions and implement those solutions as well. So if there are any BAs in the house, please make yourselves known. We're wrapping up. I promise, we're wrapping up. So if you're a BA in the house, just make yourself known. Give me a yes or a no. Very investigative, very inquisitive. CIA, very analytical. You like to analyze simple data. You have an open mind, and I think that's a very key skill as a business analyst, being able to see the bigger picture and investigate the why in regards to that bigger picture. So essentially, that is what a business analyst does. Okay, and if you're just hybrid, just put the word hybrid in the chat. Let's have a look at the next slide. Next slide. So this is just a guide in regards to what you're doing currently and where we think you might fit in. This is just a guide. Like I said, in TriTech, we're all about, training you in everything. But let's have a look. So at the top, for example, you've got 3 roles: a project manager role, a business analyst role, and a PMO analyst role. And then essentially all you're doing is looking for your current profession. So for example, as a project manager, if you are a doctor, a nurse, a teacher, a sales manager, a delivery manager, you work in retail, or you are a chef, I would advise that you focus on the role of a project manager. If you are for the business analysts in the house, if you are an engineer, a doctor, an accountant, a financial advisor, a scientist, a lecturer, or a professor, then we would advise that you go for the role of a business analyst. And for the PMOs in the house, okay, if you come from a HR background, a legal background, a care background, so care work, care support, quality analyst, compliance, or banking and PPI, we would advise that you focus on the role of a PMO. So in the chat, let me know where you fit in based on this diagram we have right now. I'm trying to wrap up, and then what I will do, because I know a lot of people probably need to go, it's been a long day, but what I will do is stay on to answer any last minute questions. So based on this, let me know where you fit in. Someone said radiographer. I would say as a radiographer, a PMO. Sales operations, project management. I fit into CIA, teacher, PM, carer, PMO. So this is really, really useful, and it kind of helps you identify what you need to do based on your transferable skills. So skills that you have already and skills that you can relate to or bring into this industry. Diana said she's a carer, banker, and biochemistry. So I would say, for you, it's a match between a business analyst role and a PMO analyst role. Okay, next slide. We will come back to this shortly. So I'm going to announce the discount for people that need to go. And like I said, I will stay on. So are we ready? Black Friday is all around us. We're sleeping and we're dreaming about Black Friday. We're waking up and we're thinking about Black Friday. And lo and behold, Black Friday has started early for TriTech. So if you're ready, let me know in the chat. IT support Ayomide would be a BA role. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look. Yes, Shivi, good question. Yes, it does. Okay, so remember I said that we have a gift. So for those of you joining this amazing platform, we are going to be giving you, no. So that person, attention, focus, you're jumping. Walk, don't jump. So this is a free course that we're giving you in cybersecurity. So, so for those of you joining the platform, we are going to be giving you free training in cybersecurity. Isn't that fantastic, guys? Cybersecurity is huge at the moment for many, many reasons. A lot of fraudsters all around us, and it's also an added advantage when you're writing your CV, for example, to showcase that you have some sort of cybersecurity knowledge and experience. So for cybersecurity, we are not pushing you to TDL. Once you've completed your PM and BA training, you would have live classes in cybersecurity. So this is worth £950, and you're getting this for free. So this is our gift to you for Black Friday. Let's have a look at the discount itself. Okay, very, very quickly, why do you need to have cybersecurity skills? Cybercrime at the moment is costing the global economy $8 trillion annually, and that was in 2023. And it's looking to rise to 10.5 trillion by 2025. And guess what? 43% of cyber attacks target small businesses. I can relate. And a data breach costs an average of $4.5 million globally. So cybersecurity is in huge demand at the moment, and you can combine it. So when you're writing your CV, you can highlight the fact that you have this cyber experience. Okay, I think we're getting to the main page. Next slide. So typically the fee is 1,200, and of course that's your training, your TDL, your LinkedIn optimization, your practical work experience, your steps 1 to 10 rather, including your career coaching and everything else I've talked about. So in TriTech, everything that I've highlighted is included in your package. So we're not going to tell you to bring another amount of money in a couple of months' time. What we're going to charge you is a one-off fee, and then that is that. So let's have a look at the offer. I'm hoping that's the next page. So 1,200 discounted to £650, including a free course in cybersecurity. So literally 45% off. I think this is a good offer, and also bearing in mind that you've got cybersecurity as well. So £650 for the first 20 people. How do we feel about that, guys? 650, should we go a little bit lower? Let me know in the chat. If you say no, that's fine. We can keep it at 650. But I know that, you know what, the economy is not smiling right now, and a lot of you are already in Christmas mode. So we're going to go a little bit lower. Not a little bit, actually, it's quite a lot. So the Black Friday offer for today is £429. So £429, which is 64% off. And can we look at the chat? Lie. How is it a lie? £429 is what we're going to charge you, including cyber security as well. Okay. So whether it's a lie or not, it's up to you. You know, when they say you snooze, you lose. But yes, so every month we always try to come up with discounts that we think will help. So in TriTech, we like to make the discounts as affordable as possible. So how do you need to pay? Do go to the next slide. So in order to secure this offer, you have a one-time payment of £429, and these are the numbers on the screen. So you text the word payment. You've got Shegun, you've got Adijoke, you've got Esther, and you've got Olise. Someone said I was expecting lower. So that person that said that, TDL in itself, there's a lot of information on there. Then you've got your LinkedIn optimization. Then you've got your practical work experience. Then you've got your career coaching. Then you've got free cyber training. So it's not low. We understand how the economy is, but 429, come on, guys, we know what is out there. So this is what we are going to be offering. So you've got Shegun, you've got Esther, you've got Adijoke, and you've got Olise. So text the word payment. This is a full time. So if you're paying in full, it's 429. Thank you so much, Colleen. Jokes aside, it's a very good deal if you think about everything that you're getting included in the package. Okay. Now, for some of you that perhaps you want to pay instrumentally, let's have a look at the next slide. So let's say, for example, you want to split your payments. So we use Klarna, and we also have ClearPay, or you can do a minimum payment of £250. So the offer is 500. So if you're splitting your payments, it will be £500. We accept Klarna, ClearPay, and an instrumental payment of £250. Dorcas, I will announce how many people in a moment. So you've got Kenny and you've got David. So alternatively, you can drop your numbers in the chat rather than texting on the screen, and a member of the team would call you immediately. Now, as I mentioned, these offers are just for now. In the new year, our fees will be going up. So for some of you, you can take advantage of this and then start in the new year. This offer is only applicable for the first 50 people. So this offer of 500, which is instrumental, is for combined with the full offer of 429, is for the first 50 people only. So you have 500 if you're using Klarna and ClearPay, and 429 if you're doing full payment. And for those of you back home, let's have a look. So we have Sonia, Divine, and Anita. So if you're in Nigeria or in Ghana or Kenya or in Africa as a whole, you have Sonia, you have Divine, and you have Anita. So you just need to text them the word payment, and then they will send you the account details. Okay, so that's for those of you back home. You have Sonia, Divine, and Anita. Okay, so we'll go back to the initial payment pages, and then I will look. Is there no way to swap cybersecurity or UX, UI, and MS offer? Jonah, no. I would have thought that cybersecurity. Oh, can everyone see me and hear me? I actually would have thought that cybersecurity would be a good one. No, yes, let me know in the chat. But anyway, 4 to 9 for the first 50 people. You just text the numbers on the screen, or you can put your numbers in the chat. And then somebody would reach out to you. So it's 4 to 9 as a one-off payment. This will not be extended into the new year, and it's for the first 50 people. And then you get a certificate of completion for cybersecurity, and then your certificate of completion for PM and BA. So somebody was asking, oh, why don't we offer UX UI? So every month, what we would normally do is offer UX UI or Microsoft Office training, so Word, Excel, PowerPoint. But we just felt that for this time, why not just, bump it up a little bit and include cybersecurity? So how many of you in the chat would be interested in cybersecurity? I think it's huge at the moment. I think cybersecurity is an added value to your training. It's huge. It's normally about, if you check what it costs out there, it's normally about 800, 950 pounds. Yeah. Why can't you show account details here for immediate access? That's because some people might want to use their card. We could do, but then also for compliance reasons as well. So we could put the account details on the slides. Actually, we'll look into that. But at the same time, we don't want to encourage that, because some people might just put that in the chat and then it gets messy and we don't know who is who. So that's why we would rather you text, or you can put your number in the chat and a member of the team would reach out to you instead. Okay. No, Lee. So what we give is a certificate of completion for cybersecurity. So that will be taught in the new year. Chidera, what is your question? Let me know. Okay, so 4 to 9, and then 500 if you're splitting the payments. Chidera, let me know what your question is so that I can answer. So again, for those of you, can we go to the next slide? Yes, so 4 to 9 includes your free cybersecurity training. So you're going to get trained in project management and business analysis. However, you're now getting a free course in cybersecurity. After payment, what next? Immediate access to TDL. So the moment you make your payment, so you can do a transfer, you can use a debit card, credit card, it's entirely up to you. You will get access to TDL, okay? So these are the numbers if you're looking to do a part payment. Training, like I highlighted, is for 7 days. There is a timetable. And then work experience is 3 to 4 months. So for those of you joining in December, so training would commence in December, but we would want for you to complete your training before Christmas and then commence your work experience in the new year. Ideally, you're looking at about 4 to 5 months to complete the whole program. Henry, no, for this, it's just cybersecurity. So there's no UX, UI. So we've taken that out and we've added cybersecurity instead. Somebody asked a question. That's fine. There was something. Work experience, ideally 3 to 4 months. Yes, Shibi, you can ask your question. So we're done. We're actually done. For those of you that need to go, or you need to log off, or you're at work, or you need to go to work, I'm just staying on to answer any questions. So if you're looking to do installments, it's £500, minimum payment £250, or you can use Klarna or ClearPay, where you can do 3 to 4 payments. If you have a Klarna account, then it's very, very easy. So text the guys on the screen. Then we go to the next slide for those of you in Nigeria. So it's the equivalent. So you can text the numbers on the screen. You've got Sonia, Divine, and Anita, and text the word payment to them. and then they would send you the account details. Okay, so for those of you that have been asking about UX UI, we're not including that as part of the free offer this time. We're including cyber security. Are we happy with cybersecurity? I just want to find out, just have a feel. And Mohammed, if you can go back. Thank you. Yes, so Scrum videos is included. So everything that I showed you on TDL is included in your package. Yes, you're referencing the moment you get a job, you would reach out to HR and they will be able to sort out your reference. So that's not an issue. Samson, are we happy with cybersecurity? Esther, your question is not being ignored. Just repeat it. Thank you so much. Yes. Yes, Klarna. So just text the numbers on the screen. If you have a Klarna account already, it's very straightforward. Ideally, Klarna and ClearPay allow you to do, I think, 3 to 4 installments. But that would be 500. 429 is a full payment. Okay. So Onome, you text the number on the screen. So let's go to the Naira page for those of you in Nigeria. So when you text them, they would call you, and then it's literally the equivalent of what pounds is, okay? So you've got Sonia, Divine, Anita, text the word payment, and then they would do the needful. Yes, you would be given a certificate for both, Olu. I have a master's in business analytics, so I still need certification, not necessarily. Trisha, what you need to focus on is your work experience and then back that up with the certificates that you have. Any other questions, guys? Mohammed, can you go back to... So 429 is if you want to do a full payment, and you can do a transfer, a debit or credit card. And if you're looking to do multiple or instrumental payments, it's 500.